You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Battered fam, the Battered Herons are back, baby. Welcome to another episode of the Battered Herons podcast, guys. I am your host, Chris Duran, and alongside me at the moment, I have nobody. But welcome, guys. It's episode 244. We just finished watching an incredible game. And before I go ahead and get started, let me just do something real quick. I'm just going to move that over here because that guy scored a goal. So that's good stuff right there, guys. So welcome again, guys. It was a really, really good game. And I got to give a shout out to you guys that are in the chat. Much appreciated for everything that you guys are doing. I mean, you guys are interacting typically, even before and during the game. So shout out to you guys for hanging out in the chat. And Mr. Krabs, yes, absolutely. The Herons are back. And you know what's funny? John Paul is commenting here is that I'm creaming that Taylor scored. Funny thing is, guys, you guys know that I've been making bets lately, right? I say, you know what? I'm not going to bet that Taylor scores. And he scored. So I think I'm not going to bet that he scores anymore and hope that he just starts pulling out hat tricks. Good news for us is we get the win. We stay at the top. And the bad news is for Chicago, like Hammy said, is Jason Derulo time. So not only is Chicago getting dominated once by Northern by Broward, they're going to get dominated twice because now Jason Derulo, Miramar Zone, is going to be performing tonight. So, and I am Jekka commenting here, Suarez, 2 hearts. And that basically sums up the night, guys. I mean, Suarez would have had a hat trick. Obviously, they counted the first goal as an own goal. So, he did get a brace. And now we're talking about Suarez going after the golden boot, right? I mean, this is something that in reality was being mentioned in the beginning of the season or right when we got Suarez, not just, of course, by Solana, but by Danny. A lot of people were saying that that Luis Suarez, not Messi, is probably going to be, fighting for that golden boot spot. And it's comforting to be able to know that we have a striker like Luis Suarez on this team, especially when we don't have Messi playing at the moment. Shout out to Luis Avila, yo, what's up? And then One World, One Goal. Hola, mi gente. Told you Suarez was great. And Kung Lee, comfortable win. Absolutely. And Lung Hello is saying, when Taylor scored, I imagine Chris preparing his praises for yeah, of course I was preparing praises. Are you kidding me? Now, this is one thing I kind of wanted to mention. OM is saying here in the comments, surprised to see 60,000 fans, 60,000 plus fans. Now, this is played in Chicago where the Bears play, right, on Soldier Field, so they can be able to go ahead and fill that stadium up. Bigote saying he could see the Taylor back up over here on my right shoulder. I had to move my son back over here to the left. I did that starting the episode there, Bigote. So, and by the way, good comment here, Mr. Krabs. If anyone's wondering where Danny is, his daughter was just born. So congrats to him, guys. Guys, just for that, it's a beautiful thing. Birth is a beautiful thing. And we got to be able to have Allison Riley enter this planet Earth. So, guys, shout out to Danny. Congratulations to him and his wife and his family. And, guys, just put a thumbs up on the video just for that, right? I was going to start off the show saying, Allison, the Herons are back, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let Danny do that when he starts off. So, I mean, look, guys, it was an incredible win. It was a really, really comfortable win. I mean, guys, it felt good for the most part. I mean, of course, until maybe between minutes 70 to 83, it was kind of shaky, right? Between like 75 and 85, that was like a really shaky game. And thank you guys, everybody here. I'm pretty sure Danny is watching. He was watching the game, communicating with me. Pablo Golasso, time for Chris to have one. I have three already. Okay, I don't. It's not to have one. I have three, and I don't know if that's going to be happening in my future. Adding a fourth, so you know. And Bigote saying good luck. Yes, everybody, congratulations to Danny. It's and you guys can be able to see it. One World One Goal is mentioning here in the chat. Baby Pig is on Twitter, so adorable. Babies always look beautiful, so just go to the page and check it out. Okay, babies are very cute. So yeah, I mean, overall, guys, the game was incredible. I felt like we were smooth sailing throughout the entire match. Like I said, maybe between the 75th and the 85th minute, it was a little bit shaky. Maybe the guys were already kind of mailing it in. Apparently, some of the people, the commentators were mentioning that Busquets started talking to Campana and Cremaki about pressuring up top. That's sort of where the loose ends were, I guess, so to speak. But I mean, look, I was very, very, very happy with the win. We're gonna kind of walk through this and we'll be able to kind of figure everything out. And Mike V with the worst comment tonight. Hashtag Data out. Let's see if we can be able to change your mind today, Mike V. Chat, you guys got to help me out. Is Data in or Data out? Hashtag, what is it? Data in or Data out? I need everyone to chime in right now and tell me Data in or Data out. I mean, Mike V is here just straight up setting shots. Hashtag Mike V out. I mean, look at this. We're already getting ins. Augustine in. Marasovic in. John Paul's already booing you, Mike V. I mean, Mike V, you are literally the NWO in the World Championship Wrestling in WCW. You are Hulk Hogan in the NWO. That's what you are. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it, Mike. But now you're just gonna have to own it all season. All season. At this point, Tata can go undefeated, win the Patelito plate, okay, the Croqueta plate, win the MLS Cup, and you're just gonna have to own it. You're just gonna have to own it, buddy. I'm sorry. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk a little bit about the game, and let's look at the X's and O's of it, shall we? So here, what we have is Los Once. Here we have the starting 11, and I'm going to go ahead and put the formation up as well, just so you guys can be able to see it. But this was what was sent out by Inter Miami CF on the social medias and all that kind of stuff. Just for those of you that are listening on audio, it's just a list of the players. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring up the formation. Sorry, guys, I am not as cool as Danny making really cool graphics. I'll be practicing over the week, so I can promise you I'm going to try. I'm not going to promise you anything perfect, but this is what we have here. Apparently, what was set up was a 3-4-3. So I'll start. We're looking at the image here. It's a calendar, of course, at the goalie spot. Now, they say it's a 3-4-3, but it seemed like it was like a 5, like a sort of like a 5-2-2-1 deal. I don't know. Let's just say it's 3-4-3. So the back three are the center backs. We have Martinez, Busquets, and Ian Frey. You had Jordi Alba playing like a left wing back, Weigand playing a right wing back, Yannick Bright and Redondo playing like center midfielders, center defensive midfielders. Then you had Diego Gomez playing left wing, Gressel playing right wing, and Suarez, of course, as the lone striker up top. Now, looking at this starting 11, okay, I honestly was pretty happy with this starting 11. And then we got Shady B saying Weigand was great today. Weigand was good. Yeah, Weigand was really good. And I got to tell you, I love having Ian Frey out there. It's something that we've been asking for a long time. But having Ian Frey there as the right center back, it works a lot better than I anticipated with Cello. So Mike V is mentioning here today, Tata grossly pulled his gum out of his teeth, put it back in his mouth. So is that like a violation, a gum violation? You can't take your gum out of your mouth and put it back in? That's actually like a sincere question. So Angelo is here saying Martinez was great. Gressel was a ghost, according to John Paul. Now, mind you, Jean, he was out for some time, for a couple games. He hasn't been starting recently. Aria saying Frey is great. I mean, look, we've been calling Ian fucking Frey, Ian F and Frey for a while, and we've been wanting him to get onto the pitch. Stancy saying Ian Frey is solid. He just needs more wit and experience. I mean, that comes with experience, right? Um, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think that Ian Frey is a guy that's really building on this team. I mean, my son even asked me if he thinks he's going to go to Europe at some point. I think he's going to flourish at some point. He's going to make a big team at some point. I'm going to have to check this foot mob, Mr. Krabs saying Luis Suarez with the highest rating on foot mob. I'm going to have to check that, even though I hold no faith into that website. But let's get back to the starting 11, right? Here, I looked at the starting 11. Obviously, Diego Gomez there. Amazing. Gressel, I wanted that back. And I really have no issues with Bright, Redondo, and Busquets filling in the middle like that. I love having Busquets as that like center core, I don't know, like defender. And I'll tell you right now, I'll take this lineup any day of the week and twice on Saturdays. And again, a lot of people are mentioning that Gressel did look rusty. He did. But I know that he was out in the last game, something personal, and then he hasn't been starting recently. I think we all know that, or at least we could probably come to the assumption that the reason that Gressel had to start is because Matias Rojas is injured. There were some people asking about why Matias Rojas wasn't in the game. It's because he was injured. So I think that that's why you saw Gressel starting the game. So I really like that starting 11. And look, I think everybody can agree, especially when we were talking to the Inter Miami show with Mike and Branton. Shout out to those guys. I think we can all agree that Tata is a good coach in terms of the starting plan, right? We start off, he comes out with a really, really solid 11, comes out with a really good formation that works well, puts the right pieces in its place, and then just doesn't manage as well. Okay. And Stancy is saying it right here. Tata is cooking as far as lineup. Yeah, I mean, that was good. That was really good. Starting the game, I mean, it shows, because in the beginning of the game, I'm going to tell you right now, we were putting the pressure on. The ball distribution was like super solid. Luis Suarez was finding himself in really dangerous situations. I mean, like the first, what was it? Like the first 5 or 10 minutes, I think Chicago did find an opportunity to be able to kind of get around and annoy the defense a little bit. But for the most part, I think that they were pretty solid in terms of putting the pressure. This is a good question right here, Tank. Tank with the really solid question here, saying, was it just me, Chris, or was Aviles not missed tonight? This is a stinger right here. Was Aviles not missed tonight? And I got to tell you, Tank, super solid question. This right here is a banger. This is official tissue, my friend. Because I'll tell you right now, I don't think he was missed. I don't think he was missed. Now, I mean, did Tata set it up so he sort of overcompensated to make up for it? I mean, maybe. But Busquets, by the way, as far as like technicality as a defender, he is not like the most solid in terms of like where he puts his feet placement or whatever the case is. But man, he played his ass off as a defender. Yeah. Sounds is saying it right here in the comment section. I didn't even look at the comment section. Sounds right here saying Busquets looking young today. Busquets looking like 20 years younger here. 20 years younger. And this is the reason we didn't miss him. Dennis Lopez saying Ian Frey, strong arm. Article Athletics asking, where is Solana? Solana is on vacation. Solana is enjoying a vacation. And Justin Blair. Well, shout out to Justin Blair and Cincy. Can you smell the supporters picadillo yet? I can smell it, and it smells delicious. It smells delicious. So Angelo is saying here, I think Frey is more reliable. Absolutely. Frey is more reliable. He's not as a dangerous of a defender in terms of like throwing himself into bodies, which is good and bad, right? Because you kind of want that in a defender, but at the same time, you don't want to make sure that you're getting all of these cards accumulated. I mean, look at Aviles. He's paying the biggest price right now. He's out. He was out this game because he is a terrorist on that defensive line. So yeah, and it's funny. Stancy's saying Frey is more disciplined, and Frey is young too. Frey is young as well. So it's not like we're putting like a Kristoff there and this like, oh yeah, you know where the discipline comes from, right? But I mean, Frey played structured. He played well. He pushed the ball up confidently, made passes, key passes to be able to get it to the midfield. I mean, it was comfortable playing, man. Comfortable playing. Now, getting to the first goal, Tobias Salquist was given the own goal, right? But that was created off of a play where you had Diego Gomez. Diego Gomez literally was part of, if I remember correctly, I think he was part of all three goals involving Luis Suarez. On the first goal, if I'm not mistaken, he gave the pass back towards the middle of the box to Luis Suarez. Suarez just anticipated it, right? Stepped into it. Goalie put his paws on it, right? Brady had his paws on it. And all of a sudden, you had Salquist starting off the worst day possible for him this week. Right off his chest into the goal. And you look at the replay, right? And this is perfect. Kung Lee, Bright and Redondo duo was solid. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no lies here. I don't sense any lies. But you could tell because getting back to the play, Salquist, the moment it came off of his chest, he automatically just started smiling like this. I can't believe this. And Brady just looked at him like, what's going on, buddy? Automatically. I mean, it's an own goal, right? But it was put square. It was put square in the goal. It probably would have gone. I mean, somebody would have probably grabbed it off of a rebound or something, or he probably would have kicked it out to give it a corner. But it was a great play. Diego Gomez, unselfish, passed it right back. So that gave us the head start, gave us the lead, right? And then the dude, Abides, Chris, with some exclamation marks. I'll take those. I love me some exclamation marks. So One World is saying it's called a give and go with Suarez to Frey. Back to Suarez. Was hit so hard, keeper couldn't stop it, and it was an off defender. Yes. But was it? It wasn't Frey, was it? It was Gomez. It was from Frey, I believe. I'm not sure. I'm not certain. He ended up sort of like back chipping it to Gomez, gave it and went, right? Gomez saw what was happening, set him up because Luis Suarez didn't just automatically attack the goal. He said, I need that right here, I need that right here, buddy. Put that right here. And he put it right there. And and then he was able to score an own goal in front of a packed stadium to be embarrassed. So shout out to the Chicago Fire. El Bigote is saying here, and they probably sold the most hot dogs. A record of the worst hot dogs sold in an event in Chicago, probably. They filled it up with 60,000 people and sold the most Chicago hot dogs in one facility record, Guinness Book of World Records for sure. And yeah, listen, one world, one goal. You might be right. I thought it was Gomez. I mean, it could have been Frey. Maybe somebody else can be able to go ahead and let me know. But I believe it was Gomez. So if any of you put the bet, like Luis Avila says, I mean Diego Gomez was on it today. Any of you put like a bet for Diego Gomez having assists, you guys are caking out right now. Caking out. So Salquist, right? Own goal. We keep it moving. End the half, and it's 1-0. Now, typically, this is where we get to the point where Danny and I sort of will ask each other, what did you think at this point, right? We get to the end of the first half. How did you feel? Did you feel comfortable? Were you scared? And I got to be honest. Like I said in the beginning, I wasn't scared at all. We were playing very, very well this whole game, aside from 10 minutes that we're going to eventually get to in the second half. But for the most part, we played very well in the first half. We were showing a lot of productivity on offense. There was a lot of great passes, right? And Justin Blair is saying Chicago dogs are 50% delicious. Then that means, Justin Blair, that they are 50% garbage. Do you want to eat something that's 50% delicious, but then 50% garbage? How about that, guys? Would you eat something 50% delicious and 50% garbage? Shout out to Tommy ATL. Scarves and Spikes in the house. I'm a one-man band for now. Hopefully Xavier is going to be able to join me in a little bit. He's actually in the press conference. So once he gets on, hopefully he'll be able to go ahead and give us a little bit of a better perspective. And Dennis Lopez vomit facing all over the chat. And AZ Rebellion is actually agreeing. He's saying Chicago didn't seem that threatening at all. And, Michael Neira is saying Gomez could have had 2 goals if he learned to be clinical at shooting. Yes. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you right now. And this is something that I mentioned early in my criticism to Diego Gomez. Okay. The moment that he learns to play offensive soccer, he's going to be destroying people. Absolutely annihilating leagues. Justin Blair, but that's the problem, though. Just remove some of the condiments. When you go and you eat like a thing from a place and they make it for you, prepared for you to represent that culture or that city, you're not going to make modifications. You have to eat it as is. I mean, Xavier just joined. He's in the backstage. He literally joined at a point where I'm talking about hot dogs. So he probably thinks, what the hell is going on? He's been here for 23 minutes. Been talking about hot dogs for 23 minutes. There's no way. So, John Paul, I think we're going to do some call-ins. I got to figure out how I can be able to do that. But I think we're going to do some call-ins, and we'll figure that out. So, as I mentioned earlier, we have Xavier in the backstage, and I mentioned a couple of minutes before that Xavier isn't here at the moment because he was attending the post-game press conference, but he is backstage now. So I'll go ahead and I'll bring him in town. So Xavier Lavos, welcome to the Batter Herons program, buddy.
Thank you, guys. You guys were talking about Perro Caliente. Well, what's up? What's going on here?
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was probably 18 of 22 minutes I was talking about hot dogs.
That's what makes this show so interesting. You never know which direction it's gonna go.
Exactly. Hashtag battered after dark, according to Justin Blair. So now, no, but in all honesty, before you came on, I literally was talking a little bit about the first half, what went on in the first half, and then usually when we get to the end of the first half, Danny and I sort of figure out, are we confident? Are we shook? Was there something to worry about? And before we get into some thoughts here, right? Mr. Krabs saying, just wait till you see the Hawaiian pizza. Hawaiian pizza should automatically never be cooked ever. Anyone that likes Hawaiian pizza all need to move into the same island and just eat pineapple and ham your whole life. Do you like Hawaiian pizza, Xavier?
I'm not gonna say it.
Oh no. Okay. So let's get to work. Let's work here. Okay. So here I'm gonna put up an image. This is Los Once, right? The starting 11. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put the formation up here. So I guess we'll just get your thoughts primarily just a little bit about the first half, and then we'll talk about the second half. So here we have what was formed as a sort of a 3-4-3. Now, just looking at this, what did you think of this starting lineup to start off?
No, I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked formation. I knew, Gresso was probably going to be up there, obviously, since Matias wasn't playing. I was hyped up and ready to see Ian perform. But the thing that catches me right now when I see it is the yellow cards. I didn't get a chance to ask Tata about the yellow cards because I asked him about Ian. But because I'm not a famous reporter, so I don't get 2 questions. But the 4 cards, if I can knock something for Inter Miami, is consistently getting cards, and I don't want this to cost them a game now in the playoffs or cost them the MLS Cup with a stupid double yellow that we've been doing. So Ian even got the yellow like on a Aviles type play where he got cut off.
Yes.
But I give him this one because it's a play where he holds him because the guy's going to take off. It's not a play where you slide tackle in the middle of the field where nothing's going on. There's no reason to do it, and you whack the guy. So I'll give Ian a pass on that one. But it's just consistent cards. Martinez card also he kind of grabbed them. He had Busquets in front, so he could have maybe let the play develop and kept running. But it's too many cards. Suarez for sure, always a city card. He's a vet, so I trust, and I don't trust. I trust that he's not gonna, do something like that in the big game. But sometimes he loses it. If he flips and he goes, pistolero, then we don't know what's gonna happen. So that's the only thing I will take, that bothers me right now. It's the consistent yellow cards. Sometimes too many cards.
Well, you know what kind of trips me out about Luis Suarez is he always gets the yellow cards for the most part for like taunting. Like he gets them just for like talking crap. Like he's not doing like dangerous plays. He's not chewing people's faces and ears off. Like he's, he
can't anymore. He can't catch up to anybody. He's hurt his knee and stuff. So he just got to talk.
He's just verbally abusing people. And then MLS is like, hey, we don't have no space for bullies. So yellow card.
Yeah, he's physically abusing them too because he's got that brace today.
Yes. Now, as you can see with the 3-4-3, I liked it. I mentioned in the beginning, I really liked it. I love the Yannick Bright, Redondo, and Busquets sort of, the triangle deal there. I think that it works so smoothly.
Quality with Gomez all over the place. There's quality there, quality, speed. And you have both because Busquets is not fast. He's not slow, because he does a great job. But you have those kids flying everywhere, and then you have Busquets with his quality just spraying the ball around. I mean, the team. You look at this team, and this is a super solid team. And now the GOAT is already working. The GOAT's already getting ready. He's about to come back in, and he's going to come hungry. He's going to come hungry. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see him come back.
Well, and there was a question that I got to give a lot of credit to Tank for. And he asked it earlier in the podcast. He asked, how it's kind of, I mean, I'm going to paraphrase it, but we didn't miss Toto in this game.
But you knew that, right?
Missed.
But we knew that.
I'm saying, like he wasn't missed.
Right, but we knew that because Ian Frey, I mean, at least if you're talking to me, I always thought he was the most, like from the beginning, was the most talented center back on the team.
Yeah.
Because I've seen him since he was a kid. And to me, he's like a midfielder, a talent. He's like a number 8 playing back there, but he has the height, he has the ability, and he's still not in the groove. I mean, I remember him, was it two seasons ago? Like I think it was like the first or it was the second injury against the Mexican team. He came in And as a center back, he went into the area from midfield into the 18th and took like three guys and
Yes.
blasted a go in like in the box. And I was like, this is a center back, and this is a center
Yes.
back. So we know he's talented, and there's more for him to grow. Well, right now, when I asked that about that, and that's what he said. He said, like, because I said, hey, look, can you tell me a little bit about Ian's game today? Because he center back covering for Aviles, but he's also played right back. He's played multiple positions for you. And he said, no, the kid's super talented.
Yes.
He says that he knows how talented he is, that he's been held back because of the injuries that he's had throughout his career, but Tata holds him in very high esteem. So everybody knows he's a very, very talented kid. So hopefully the injuries are behind him. It doesn't ever happen again, like it all happened early in his career, and we can see a kid that's going to blow up on the world scene, and at some point can we say it here on the Batter Show? It's 2024. Maybe we'll see him in the World Cup.
Ooh, maybe. Yes, I could see that.
Because you know what Team USA needs? You know what Team USA is severely lagging? What Team USA, I'm not going to say sucks because I don't like to insult the players, but
Yeah.
it is not their strongest position, because I think Team USA is going to be a good team. Center backs is weak. It's not their strongest position. And if this kid in a couple of years is still, growing and it gets better, there's a chance we have him there, And you heard it here first on the Batter, although everybody knew it could happen.
Yes. Well, Tank is saying that will Frey choose USA or Jamaica?
Ooh, Jamaica. I think,
who I thought was going to win everything, by the way.
You were nuts, though. I mean, but Jamaica or USA, it's one thing would be the heart, the other thing would be the mind. But I would say USA. But we'll dig deeper into that, and then I'll tell you.
Well, what I want to talk a little bit about is I want to talk about the second half. Like first half, I imagine we finished it and you felt comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Because I was explaining that I felt like they played very well consistently throughout the first half. They comfortably held the lead. They comfortably were playing defense. They were confidently pushing on offense. The first half was a half that we literally took over. And I would say, aside from like a couple minutes in the beginning of the game,
I
felt, in the beginning it was a little clunky, right? But later on, we ended up picking up the pace and doing well.
Chicago came out with a surge. I mean, they're in Soldier Field.
Yes.
They're playing over a big crowd. They have to come out pumped. They have to show life. Doesn't matter that, and they're actually playing, fighting to try to get a spot.
Yeah,
they're still alive. So you knew they were going to come out with something. And Miami held their own. They held them. And then once that goal went in, they took control of the match. And I actually, I always say tweeted because I can't say that, but I tweeted out like at halftime, they need to put in a couple more, to ice the game, to like basically kill the game. And they put 3, so which is great. But what you have, El Pistolero, that guy, he just doesn't forget.
Well, and talking about El Pistolero, all of a sudden they started the second half and El Pistolero gets a goal within the first minute, in the 46th minute. And that, from what I remember, was off of an assist from Diego Gomez, I believe.
Yeah, the center back tried to like control the ball, and it went long, and it went straight to Gomez, and Gomez just gave him. But what happens there? The moment the ball goes long and it's headed to Gomez, is Suarez. Suarez is just, he's brilliant. He's a jerk. He bites. He talks. Whatever. But he's a brilliant footballer. What happened as the ball's going to Gomez? He's already making the run, timing it perfectly into the perfect space for Gomez just to tap it in. Because he made the run the moment the ball was going. He already knew what was going to happen. Gives it to him, and then he looks, and with his left, because with him it's either left or right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's at the left or the right. He's going to put it through. And that's why he's an all-time great and why he's a great footballer, because not all the forwards can do that. That old bastard still dominating. That old dirty bastard.
Yeah, he is still dominating. And it just, seeing games like this of Luis Suarez, it really should slap people in the face that really thought that Luis Suarez
those non-believers. those
that
non-believers, those
I was,
doubters,
that he was gonna crumble.
haters. But you know what? I can understand if like, they say, oh, his knee, yeah. But he had just come from Brazil where he dominated, from Brazil where he was named the best, the best player for the league that he was playing in, and he was the leading goal scorer. So a month removed from that, you're doubting the guy. It's like, dude, if he's controlling over there, he's gonna work over here with no doubt. But even before that, he's clutch. He's done it everywhere. He's done it everywhere, and he's doing it on one leg here. He's already now he went up to 16 goals. Chicho has 17, so now he's in second place. And be careful, he's
That
in
gold boot.
that goal boot is in trouble for Chicho, because if Messi comes back, Messi's gonna catch up and give him a couple, like 3 or 4 assists. Like, hey, I'm back, man. Here. So
Oh, he's gonna feed him. He's gonna feed him. I mean, Circus Fun is saying here 5 goals in 2 games. I think it's
master. These guys are master. Another thing I wanted to ask that I didn't get to, because it's going through. It's through fast. Was Messi's not there, but people are not talking enough about who is here. Man, you still have Busquets, you still have Alba, and you still have El Pistolero, and those 3 guys are just simply amazing. Simply amazing what they do at that age. They're still at an amazing level.
It is
so
really crazy.
It's beautiful to watch. And I know the tickets are super expensive, because I know it hurts people, but you have something wonderful. You have 4 of the all-time greatest players at their positions at the same team at this moment, and we have to enjoy it. And I really hope, and I'm talking now more as a fan than like a journalist, I really hope they go and go all the way and are able to give the fans, the MLS Cup and the Supporters Shield, because that would, brighten up the season. It would really suck if the way they're dominating if they don't go through. But I mean, I don't see how they can if they're playing this way and Messi's not even here yet. And when he comes back, he's going to be on fire.
Well, that's the worst part, because last home game, I was talking to Danny about it. There were tickets for like $30, 20 something bucks on StubHub, SeatGeek. This game itself in Chicago, the cheapest ticket I saw was like $34. That's in Chicago. Now, of course, they could fit up to 60,000 fans.
They had 55. More. Yeah, they had 55 there.
But I mean, to see this quality, like I tell people all the time, Messi's not there, but you're still getting 3 really great players and some other players that you're going to see in a couple years in a different jersey that looks more familiar. Yeah. So,
but I'm glad that it's 35 bucks, because like in Europe, you see these top clubs and like, they're reasonable prices for the average person to go see some quality, like really, really good players. So I'm cool with that, but I understand we're in America, and things, the dollar and everything works different over here.
So, I mean, after that goal from Luis Suarez, right, he gets his brace. We're playing pretty well for the most part. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, a couple substitutions take place. We get Benjamin Kramaki coming on there. Later on, we end up getting Campana, and by then, we finally get scored on, and it's Koutsias that he gets the goal. Mm-hmm. He gets the header, right, and that just it just sank. My feelings sank, because I really wanted Drake Callender to walk away with a clean sheet.
That was important, yeah.
And he was furious. I mean, there was a crumbling on defense that was happening around that time, right? Like I had mentioned, somewhere between the 75th and like the 83rd, 84th, 85th minute, like there was like a good 10-minute span where we were just playing sloppy. Like the whole mood just completely was removed. And it happens all the time. But you would think bringing people like Benjamin Kramaki and bringing people like Campana, who are not tired, fresh off the bench, and putting a little bit more oomph in their movements. But of course, what's happening is we're removing players. We're removing players like Luis Suarez, who's an offensive threat. Now, at that point, were you nervous? even though we were up 3-1, or no?
No, not at all, not at all. I just felt like Drake needed that clean sheet. I wanted the team to do that.
Yeah,
That's a little bit of the snub there that they should have been able to blank them. But
yeah,
not nervous, not nervous. I knew it was a game that was under control. The first 10-15 minutes where Chicago came out enthusiastic, where they came more out motivated, where the crowd was still hyped in the game,
yes,
and that at that point I was like, wow, Chicago's coming out a little bit stronger than I thought. They look like they were.
yes.
It's going to make a dangerous game, a tough game. But after that, it was under control, and then I think I even put that out as like Miami was like kind of on cruise control. They had the game under control. They still hadn't put it away even at the 1-0, but they felt like they were these guys can harm them. So that one goal that they scored, I didn't think they were capable of scoring 2-3 against Miami.
Well, and Dennis was mentioning here in the chat, I feel bad for my dog Drake. He always gets a bad stretch from our defense. And then Amanda is saying poor Drake never gets a clean sheet. Not true. Last game, Amanda,
he gets
he did get the
share.
clean
He gets
sheet.
his share. He gets his share. He gets his share. But you know what? That sucks for Drake. It really does. But I'll take 4-1 any day. If that's what you're gonna give me, 3-1, 4-1,
4-1. I'll take it.
That's fine.
And then we're gonna just end it off talking about last but not least.
Oh.
The goal by none other than Robbie Neymar Light Taylor.
The people's champion.
The people's champ, right? Right here. The people's champ.
Okay. 16.
I've had that. But I was covering it for a little bit with this guy right here. With this guy.
I can't see because your phrase is
right here. I was covering it with that guy. Right.
Okay.
But then I removed it so that way he can be there. And he scores a goal, which I gotta give Campana credit for that.
I'm glad you saw that.
Not only for the physical assist, but we all know that Campana is struggling. And for him to be able to see an opportunity like that and need the goal more than Taylor. But he says, I'm going to give this one up. And gives it to a perfectly running Taylor where he dings his left foot, but he has the perfect opportunity to be able to put it in the back of the net. What did you think of that play?
I absolutely. When he's going straight forward and he gives it with his right leg, he gives a precious pass with his right leg right across. Taylor comes in and he scores it. I was like, when Taylor was holding his leg, like, oh no, and his face, he was like saying, oh shit, I scored, but I hurt myself. I hope it's nothing. I hope it's nothing serious. But super play by Campana. It's a mature man's play. It's a mature player's play. It's a team player's play. He's showing that the team's bigger. He's showing that he's young, but he understands that it's bigger than him. So that was a great play. That's a great play. He's got it, and I'm sure they were all thinking he was going to take that rip. And maybe if it's on the left side, maybe he does. I'm not sure. But since he was on the right, he gave, and I give him extra kudos because it's with his right leg. He's lefty. So although he shoots well with his right, making passes and launching the ball with your right is different than just shooting. So I give him thumbs up, man. Thumbs up.
I actually, like I said, for me, what screamed out more in that play wasn't legit. It wasn't the actual assist itself, but it's the way that he just said, you know what, I'm going to give this to Robert Taylor, and it's the selflessness in that play that stood out more than the actual assist itself.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's part of how this team is playing for each other. And another thing that Tata mentioned, because when he was talking about Ian, like he started and he talked a lot and went into other stuff. He was talking about the young guys, and he said that last season these young guys like Kromaski, Reed, they had to play, they were forced to play, and they had to take charge of the situation. And this year, they're just more of a complementary, and this is the role that they should have been playing, and it suits them better right now. And and he says they're all really good players, but this is the role where they should be. And obviously, you got these guys, these vets, these stars leading the team, and you come in and do your job. And
Yeah.
Campana came in and did his job. He needs to make something happen. And I'm glad, and I hope more players understand that an assist and a goal, you want to score, but an assist, you're part of the game. You're part of the game. You're part of adding, to the team. You're giving value to the team with the assist. So I'm glad he did it, and hopefully he continues. Sometimes an unselfish play like that opens up the goal for you too. So we'll see what happens with the man.
Now, eventually, we're gonna get to calls, guys. We're gonna take some calls, but I want to go ahead and bring up the lineup again because I want to go over who you thought was the man of the match, I guess, and then who I don't want to say sucked, but who didn't have the best game in the starting lineup. So here we pop up the starting lineup, and who do you think played the best today, and who do you think didn't play the best?
Yeah, you know what? The best isn't always the one that scores goals, but you go directly to that guy, because it's the obvious choice. So I'm not going to go with the obvious choice. I love my field general. I love the guy that controls the rhythm and the flow. Busquets. How he's managed to get these kids to play at a certain level, and he's playing center back like if he's the king of MLS. So he's doing wonderful from back there, getting the ball out, calm, collect, and having control of the situation. So I like Busquets. If you want me to say who the weakest player, and it wasn't weak, it's Gressel. He didn't have a great game. It's not like he had great assists or anything like that. It was more one of the more human games for Bright. It wasn't spectacular, right? But he had a good game. But if I had to choose one, I would choose Gressel.
I'll tell you, I thought best man of the match to me was probably Busquets. And the only reason is because as a defender and putting himself in situations where you could be able to get yellow cards like crazy, and especially since you're a step behind essentially as Busquets, he played fantastic. I was going to give it to Bright more so than Busquets, but for Busquets to be the anchor of our defense today and to also be able to make connecting plays to move us up the pitch, I thought Busquets was the man of the match. And he's not going to have statistics like Luis Suarez.
No, never. But it's when you see the game and you analyze the game, you know his importance. The coaches know his importance.
Yeah, and now I would say the person that didn't have the best match, I think I'm gonna have to go. And this is of course gonna be the easy one. It's gonna be Gressel. Now I don't think, and I got to give some credit to Gressel because listen, when Gressel was playing, and let me go ahead and remove the starting lineup here, but when Gressel was playing consistently, he helped us get 8. What was it? It was 8 goal contributions in 9 games.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he was plucked out of the starting lineup, and then you put Matias Rojas in there, and then he is off for personal reasons. Comes back. I mean, that's the inconsistency there has got to take a toll on a player. I would imagine
they're human, right? Yeah,
absolutely. So, I mean, I think that Gressel unfortunately didn't have the best game. But I don't think it was because he lacks as a player. I just think that he's got to be able to get back into the groove of things. And Alex, I'm not defending Gressel. Danny and I and Xavier and Solana were very critical as much as we can without being insulting of players and of people. But Gressel hasn't been playing bad. So
no, not at all.
Yeah, and Kung Lee saying Gressel will bounce back. Absolutely. And Mike V, he hears what the dog is saying, and he says the dog says it's Gressel.
Oye, ese Mike V no pela una. Him and Dennis no pelan una, dude.
No, for sure. So, guys, we're at that time. We got 10 minutes left in the show. I don't want to go over the hour. You guys already know what the deal is. We're taking calls. Guys, don't be disrespectful. Don't say very offensive and bad stuff.
No,
Okay.
we're live. We're live. We don't want to get
Yes,
shut down. We don't want to get shut down.
correct. We're not
The,
trying to
the,
get,
the show the show is growing. We're getting calls from Apple TV and everywhere else. So don't ruin
yeah,
our big break.
yes. So, guys, please don't do that. Keep your stuff short, right? Let us know what you want to talk about. We'll have a little bit of a back and forth, and then we're gonna go ahead and we'll keep it moving. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat right now, right? So for those of you that are in the chat, I went ahead and I put the link up. So go ahead and start getting loaded up. Give us a call if you guys got anything on your mind, anything good, anything bad in terms of the game, what you think of the future, and this should be good. So, and Alejandro is saying if this show ends, I probably die. You know what? I'll
I know.
probably die too. So, it is what it is. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to add, let's see here. Give me just 1 second. Okay. Okay. All right. So we got JP. We're going to go ahead and add JP on the line. JP, what's going on, brother? Thanks for calling the Battered Herons podcast.
Yeah, I just want to mention some things about the game and hear both of your thoughts.
Yeah.
So you asked Xavier earlier the best and the worst player in the match. I'm between 3 for the worst and 2 for the best.
Okay.
For the best is be Suarez because 2 goals and he caused the first goal and he created multiple chances for Diego Gomez, Weigand, and Alba.
Nice.
And Busi because he had an incredible defensive game and he opened up the midfield.
Nice.
Those are
Okay, so
my 2
you're on the
best.
same page with Xavier and I in terms of the best.
Who's the worst?
For the
I want to
worst,
hear this because you got 3 people.
Damn.
yes.
Now
the
we're talking
worst-
about starters, right, JP?
Yes, starters.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Bring it.
I'd give it to Gressel easily, but he's injured, so that's why the other 2 I put them higher in contention because Gressel is not his fault. The only reason he was in the starting 11 is because Messi is injured, Rojas is injured, and Taylor is not favorable by Tata.
Yes. Okay.
So, in my opinion, it was between either Wegant or Redondo.
Nice. Okay. All right. Now I could see Weigant, right? I mean, I can understand it. Can you get it a little bit, Xavier?
Yeah, no, either one of those guys. But one thing with Wagon that I've seen the last few games though is he has a lot more hustle. Because I think 3-4 games back he had a stretch where he had played like a mid level and had actually gone down. Because
Yeah.
the very first game he got off the plane and came and played amazing, right? So everybody thought he was great. Now I got the dogs in the door, but so everybody thought he was great, and then he started tanking a little bit. So now I see him at least hustling and trying and getting back and moving around. So
I
I'm
think
not
he's
terrible about
hustling
it.
more due to the fact that Frey is playing incredibly, and he could be at risk for his starting spot because Aviles will
Mm.
always be Tata's favorite. So if Aviles is back, Frey is going to the bench, and if Frey continues putting incredible performances, he could go over Wegant.
Let me tell you something. When I talked and Tanta answered today, when I asked him about Frey, I got a little bit of a sense that he's like holding him because of his injuries and like he wants to be sure that he's okay because I think he holds him in a really high esteem. So all
Yeah.
things considered, I think at some point if they go head to head and Aviles isn't performing, I don't think he flinches in putting Frey. Let's see.
I'm pretty sure Aviles and like the other South American guys are very favored to Tata because Tata basically put his name on the line with every player he brings, and the players
Yes.
that are not in the starting 11, majority aren't the players he didn't bring in, and he sold like 8 starters from Inter Miami before he got here.
Yeah, but he wants to win, dude. His thing is first he wants to win. And look, he put Bright in, and Bright out of college, he put him in, and Gressel's his guy. He brought him in as a free agent. He put him in, and now that he has other pieces, he sat him down. So I think he's a little. Tata's like the nice old guy, but I think he's a little bit ruthless. If he sees you're gonna win, he'll put you in. We'll see.
But
Yes, he
one
is
thing,
clueless. He
but
was
one
very
thing,
mad at the end of the game.
but one thing I want to mention to sort of wrap up that whole Aviles deal, and George Garriga is saying Aviles is a disaster waiting to happen. Aviles will
No.
cost us the title.
He's not
It's a little
that bad either.
drastic. It's a little drastic. So
You're exaggerating a little bit.
yeah. Well, all right, JP. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for giving us a call,
Yes.
man.
Have a nice night.
Thank you,
too,
brother.
brother.
You too, man. So that was solid.
Yeah,
That
great
was
question.
good. Yeah, that was. Listen, he came in honestly with points that neither you and I sort of bounced back on. I mean, he came in with, I mean, obviously the two best men of the matches, he got pretty on point, right? Busquets and Luis Suarez. We both agreed on those two. And then on top of that, uh you have three other people, and one of them, of course, we talked about, but the other one we didn't. All right. So let's go ahead and aside from JP, right? We
The new
are
guy.
now going to go ahead and bring on El Bigote. El Bigote, what's going on, brother? Thanks for calling the Batter Herons podcast.
Good evening, guys. Hey, going back towards what JP was saying.
Yeah.
So, my worst player, Redondo, he's to me, he's broken since he scored his brace. And that's my opinion on that matter. And then the best, it's a tied between two, Martinez and Busi.
Ooh, so you're going defensive here on the best.
Yes. Yeah, because we have the best attacking in the entire league. That's an opinion, okay? That's an opinion on that one before everyone destroys me in the comments. But we do have the
Yeah.
best attacking players in the game, 100%. So
Nice.
these center backs is truly what is keeping us alive. That's the reason we keep winning.
Nice.
What
Let me
a-
tell you though. But as far as Redondo, it's pretty surprising because even though he didn't have a glaringly great game, I mean, to me, he didn't have a glaringly off game either.
He
I don't
just
think so.
he feels like something's missing ever since he scored his brace. His
I agree.
everything that he was doing prior to that and like how he was winning the balls, he had that one good turn, but he's consistently seeming to be like that kind of outlier. He's not meshing well. He doesn't seem to be having the rhythm that he used to prior to scoring that brace. And then since then, he's just kind of like Redondo's there. That's how he's been playing.
Yeah, no, and listen, there was other people. Look, Marasovic saying that they also agree Redondo's been weak. And I mean, look, right here we have A0 Billion say Martinez masterclass.
Absolutely, 100%.
Solid. He's a solid player, elegant lefty. You could compare him with Freire, right? Because they're both lefties. They brought him in to play on the left side, but he's much more technical, right? He's not as big and physical or strong, but he's not small either. But he's technical. He's like that smooth lefty. He can get the ball out and he goes in hard. So yeah, this guy's
there's
been a
there's
great
a
pickup.
potential that the game could have been 2-4 if he had not gotten his yellow card. That foul that he did, smart, 100%.
Yeah, no, that's 1,000% accurate right there. Well, Bigote, thank you so much for calling us, man. Much appreciated,
Thanks,
brother.
I thought he would be the mustache though. He speaks like perfect English. I thought we were gonna get you like a Spanglish or Bigote, but
He's called before, man. He's a
Oh,
freaking
yeah.
blast, dude. One of the freaking best. All right, so guys, and for those of you who are interested in calling, I went ahead and put the link up in the chat. I'm gonna put the link up one more time. We'll probably take a couple more. We got like maybe 4 or 5 minutes left until we go ahead and wrap this puppy up. So next up, waiting to get on with us, we have Suarez's knees. Suarez's knees is
La
on the Batter
rodilla de
Herons
Suarez.
podcast.
La rodilla de Suarez. Beautiful.
What's going on, Suarez's knees? You got to unmute yourself, buddy.
Ay, 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 yeah, 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 ay, 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 ay.
Well,
That sounds like his knees. That sounds like his knees for real.
that does sounds like his knees. Suarez's knees. Thank you for the call. Very efficient and very realistic sounding. Very realistic sounding. So much appreciated for taking the time and running onto the program with us. We'll go over to the next caller, and we got Thwan. Thank you for calling the Battered Herons podcast, brother. What's going on?
Hey, Chris, could you hear me okay, Chris?
I hear you perfectly fine, my friend.
Yeah, I just want to bring a point about Busquets being the maestro for Inter Miami.
Uh-huh.
He has been teaching the young players like Bright, like Ian Frey and Avilas, and now Martinez. He just bringing up a new class of defensive players for Inter Miami, just the same way he had done for Barcelona. Look at all the young Barcelona players today. I'm not talking about Barcelona game today, but just happened all the influence he has on the La Masia players that Spain and Barcelona have enjoyed the fruit of his labor. I'm thinking Busquets bringing that maestro level to Inter Miami for now, and maybe for the whole U.S. generation of players in the future. I may get ahead of myself, but just observing him the last few games, I'm just so ecstatic about Busquets.
And do you got any opinions on that, Xavier? Because I do, but I want to hear from you first.
I thought Tuan was going to get to where Busquets' future is probably as a great coach somewhere. Let's see, about time someone gives Busy credit. Absolutely. And it's all of them. I don't know when Suarez came in, and in his news conference and in other times that he's spoken, and all of them say the same thing. They want to project, they want to give their information, they want to teach these young players. They're open to it, and these players, you listen to them and they say that these guys are great. They're able to talk to them. It's not like they push them away. No, the other way around. They always talk to them. Remember the video where we saw in one game where David Ruiz is going and Alba has him like this, talking to him, telling him,
Yes.
and he's like, these guys have been amazing. You're learning. These guys are so blessed. These young guys are so blessed. One, to be playing on the pitch with these legends, but to be able to absorb this, and they better get it, because that's what's going to set the culture and cement what Inter Miami is all about. It's Inter Miami has to be about quality, has to be about winning, and winning the right way, winning with fantastic football and with great people and great players. So yeah, absolutely. Busi's maestro, like you said, he's a maestro.
One thing I want to mention, Tuan, and I think that it's perfect that you're saying this, because this is what the MLS, in some way, shape, or form, I believe, is sort of preparing themselves for, is to have these guys come from overseas as they're older, right? Because if they're going to make the move to MLS, they'll make it, if they're older, as seasoned veterans. The younger players here learn. They go overseas to get better, right? Obviously, with the intention of having them to return. But you're really starting to see the class come out of Busquets and actually possess itself in players like Bright and Redondo, and I mean, there's players all around him that are learning. So the point that you made is perfect, Juan. I mean, it even goes to Alba and getting Noah Allen under his wing and showing him. So the great point by you, Juan, for sure.
Callers have been great.
Thank you very much for taking my call.
Much appreciated, Tuan. Thank you for calling us, brother, and anytime. And I'll tell you this much. You're right about something, Xavier. The calls have been amazing. The calls have been amazing today.
Yeah. Even Suarez's knees were great.
Oh, no. Suarez's knees was in and out like an assassin. Okay. But that basically wraps it up, guys. We're a little bit over the hour at this point. Before we walk out of this, Xavier, any last words?
Can't wait. Well, we're going to have some time off. Next game, the 14th at home, Philadelphia. The GOAT should be back for that game. I would expect him to. I'm not going to say he's going to start, but I would expect him, depending on the injuries and stuff, I would expect him to come in 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that, to get him back into the group. So that looking forward to that. And the team is winning. The supporter shields is right there. And it's just hype to get to towards the end of the season and get a couple of trophies onto that cabinet there.
Absolutely, absolutely, guys. And I wanted to put this up here. Stancy's mentioning Drake will miss games at some point due to his baby's birth. I can see that. I don't know when the baby is due. I'll tell you right now, Danny is gonna miss a couple episodes because his baby has been born. And much appreciated. And check that out, guys. Congratulations to Danny. And much appreciated for all the shout outs in the chat earlier today when we started. And Dos Santos, get well soon. Tank is waiting for that day to come. I mean, everybody looks.
Tank's a goalie too, no? Like he could be like the backup to the backup.
He can. And this, I gotta mention this, guys. Get that plate. I know you're talking about the supporter shield, guys, but if any of you haven't gotten the Inter Miami license plate, you guys need to get that. Okay, it's already been too long. I put my order in already. I'm getting fed up. Okay, get your damn license plate. And that's it. I'm getting tired of it. And before we go ahead and go, guys, if you haven't done so, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, do what you got to do. I want to put this up real quick, guys. We got some new merch in the store, so check it out. Batteredfans.com. Look at this beautiful piece right here. It says 70% of the world is covered by water. The rest is covered by Yannick Bright. And this is a fact, allegedly. So make sure you get this shirt. If you haven't, don't worry. I'll just find out where you live, and I'll kick you in the knees and turn you into Luis Suarez. So that's that, guys. So Xavier, until next time, we'll be able to see each other again at some point this week. We'll probably be doing a show. I'll probably do a show on Monday. In Espanol and English for sure. So we'll keep you guys updated. Just pay attention to the Twitter sphere, Exosphere, whatever you want to call it, guys. And look, we want to thank you guys so much for those of you that are listening online on audio, on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, guys. Put a like or put a comment. Say congrats to Danny, just so that way he can be able to kind of read through it. It's much appreciated. Guys, those of you that are in the chat, you guys are the fucking best. Round of applause for all of you guys. And for those of you that are watching later on, if you haven't done so now live, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, tell your friends to watch us. We got Battered Herons in Espanol and Inglés. We also got the Battered MLS show coming up this week. Guys, that like goes a long way. So please do us the favor. It's literally free 99 to press a button. Okay? And guys, this game was amazing and it was a blast. Xavier, thank you for joining me again today.
Always a pleasure. You know, I'm there. Bad signal and I'm there.
Yes. Much appreciated, guys. And until the next one, have a good one.
Bye.